everything is made up of energy, and energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. And that is the fundamental principle you have to learn about your life in this physical dimension. Let's get into it. Now, for most people, they don't know that everything is made up of energy. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transmuted, it can only be transformed or changed from state to state. And everything that happens in your life, its only motive is to seek what we call an emotional reaction. So, emotions and thoughts are how you release energy to the quantum field. Now, what is the quantum field? The quantum field is an energetic field that exists beyond the third or physical reality. So what people call real, or what people say is reality, is what we can see, we can feel, we can taste, we can smell, or what we can touch. So anything that we can't see, feel, touch, taste, or smell with our physical senses, we declare that that thing is non-existence or it is not real. But the real truth is, there are things, there are vibrations, there are frequencies, there are waves that our physical senses cannot detect. And even if our physical senses cannot detect such things, it does not mean that they do not exist. Actually, they do exist, and it is these higher planes, the 4D, the 5D, the 6D, these are the dimensions that actually influence what we experience on the physical world. And once you learn this, you stop trying to change life by taking physical action just by focusing on what you see, feel, touch, and taste, and then you start approaching life through the higher planes. In other words, you become a creator, because creation happens on the higher planes, and those higher planes are where we have the quantum field. The quantum field is also known as a spiritual dimension, or a place where energy simply resides. Okay, so your emotions and thoughts are sent out to the quantum field as vibration, as waves. So let me give you an example. So let's say you always have thoughts of negativity, of lack, of hopelessness. If these are your thoughts, then you feel these kinds of thoughts, or you feel these thoughts to be true. So when you feel your thoughts to be true, what you are doing, you are emotionalizing your thoughts. In other words, you are giving the thoughts an energetic kind of energy, okay, or an energetic field. Okay, so when you emotionalize your thoughts, they stop being thoughts, they simply stop being just emotions, and they become electromagnetic waves. And these electromagnetic waves are sent to the quantum field. The quantum field is a field of energy, vibrations, and frequencies. And the quantum field obeys the basic law of consciousness, which is like ends up attracting like. So if you had thoughts of negativity, if you had thoughts of lack, yeah, so what happens is that these emotionalized thoughts end up attracting similar physical equivalent circumstances. So what happens is, if you have thoughts of lack, thoughts of inadequacy, thoughts of negativity, you end up attracting the negativity, but in the physical dimension, in the form of you losing things, losing relationships, or things happening the way you did not want them to. So most people try to change what they experience on the physical world by simply doing what? Taking action. Because action is the only thing that we've been taught again and again and again as a way of solving the problems that we have. So we end up programming our mind with action whenever we are facing problems. But what we fail to know is that what is causing the problem is not the physical world, because the physical dimension is just a reflection. It reflects your internal state, and your internal state is made up of the thoughts you have, emotions you have, convictions, beliefs, and identities that you have picked up since you were a child. So if you wish to actually bring a change into your external reality, you don't go about trying to change the external reality itself. Rather, as an enlightened creator, you understand the basic principle of energy, and then you focus on the internal work. So Everything which you are experiencing out there is just a reflection of your internal space. Now, the problem arises at this point. Now, most people look at their current external states, and then because they fail to realize that it is nothing more than just a reflection of your own internal state, we end up reacting to what we see on the physical plane. So when you react to your own creation, and most of us react to our own creations negatively, right? So when you have a negative reaction to your own external creations, what happens is that you end up reacting emotionally from what you've been creating. This means that you end up getting stuck into a loop whereby you keep on recreating the same kind of experiences because you just mirror the external instead of understanding that it is the external that mirrors the internal. So when you mirror the external, you will be living in the realm of the illusion. Because the physical world is an illusion. It is something which is created by your mind, by your internal state. So when you stop reacting to the external, now you are gaining power. And that is true alchemy. That is the main message of this video, which is you need to realize that your external world is an illusion. It just mirrors the internal world. That is what we call the mirror principle. But the thing is, it does not mirror the internal world immediately. It does not mirror the internal world instantly. Why? Because the external world, the physical world, obeys what we call physical laws. And these physical laws include things such as time and space. So for example, if you wish to build a house, you can't just instantly create the house. What happens is you have to move through linear time and space for you to be able to create that house. It is a process. And this means that what you are experiencing right now, it is a reflection of your past state of consciousness, or it is a reflection of your past internal state. And that is where the problem comes in. So when you simply understand this, you will stop reacting to whatever you are experiencing in your life, and then you will start responding, because right now you will be operating through a higher level of awareness whereby you know that what you are experiencing externally is nothing more than just an experience, and it is an experience that has been created by your own internal states of consciousness. So the main work of the alchemist is to transform their own internal states of consciousness from the lower dimensions to the higher dimensions, right? And the way to do that is through what we call the use of concentration or polarization. So what is polarization? Let me explain the principle of polarity in order to drive this point home. So the principle of polarity states that everything in the physical dimension has its polar opposite. For example, the opposite of love is hate. The opposite of truth is false. The opposite of day is night. The opposite of dark is light. The opposite of hot is cold. So on and so forth. So everything in this physical dimension or physical world has its opposite, right? Also, internal states of consciousness, they have opposites. We have higher states and we have lower states. So what you do is you understand that in order for you to change something, you have to move from its polar end to the other polar end. And how do you actually move from a polar end to the next polar end? It is through what we call the art of concentration or focusing. Remember, the difference between hot and cold is nothing more than just the rate of vibration of energy. So the higher the vibration of energy, the more you feel the heat. The lower the rate of vibration of the energy, the colder you feel. Okay, so anger has a lower energetic vibration than love. Love has a higher vibration than hate. Courage has a higher vibration than fear. So how do you move from fear to courage? This is whereby we introduce the art of concentration. Remember, the only way that you give your energy off is through what we call attention. So where you place your attention or focus, that is where you are drawing or taking your energy. Now, an experiment was done whereby drivers were told to focus not hitting some potholes they were placed on the road. So when the drivers focused on not hitting those potholes that were placed there, what ended up happening is that they ended up hitting the same potholes that they were focusing not to hit. Because what you have to understand is that energy does not know if you want something or you don't want something. It just focuses on the content of your concentration. So if you are concentrating on the things you do not want, what you end up attracting are those same things that you focus on not wanting. So instead of focusing on what you don't want, instead of focusing on what you lack, you focus on what you actually want. You focus on abundance. Okay, so you shift your focus from victim mindset, from blaming circumstances and external events out there, and then you take that focus, you take that attention to the things which you actually want to experience, to things that you actually want to build. So that is how you use the power of concentration or the art of focusing to enable you to move from one polar end to the next polar end. That is the first way. So this means that you need to know exactly what you want to have, what you want to do, and who you want to become. Okay, and the best way to know is you must write them down, have them written down in a paper or somewhere. Okay, so once you know what you want, then you focus all your attention, you use your willpower to focus on whatever it is that you wish to create. That is the first point. And the next point is to realize that whatever you are experiencing right now on the physical plane is an effect, and the cause is your internal state. So don't give whatever you are feeling, whatever you are experiencing right now, an emotional reaction. Because if you give it a negative emotional reaction, you are actually recreating the same event, because you are just going into that same loop. And that is simply how you use or you learn how to manipulate energy for the betterment of your experience in this dimension. If this video has been of help to you, please make sure you are liking, you're leaving a comment, a subscription, and if you wish to work one-on-one mastery coaching program, please message the email that I have written down on the description of this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe, stay blessed, and stay awakened.